This is John Ailey. You're listening to KUT Austin. It's 12:08, and we are in KUT's Studio 1A with someone I've been looking forward to visiting with for a long time. Her name is Eliza Gilkyson. She is an amazing artist. She's been making songs for the last easily 20 years, I'm sure, probably longer than that. And she has most recently come out with this album, Paradise Hotel. And this is, if possible, even better than the one that came out just before that, which had the Highway 9 and all those other good songs. And that was called The Land of Milk and Honey. And so as Ed Miller and I continually just sing her praises, I would just like to say, I'm so happy to have her here today. I love her. So, Eliza, what would you like to play for us today to start out with?
Oh, we'll start with Borderline. That's eases us into the water there. Baby, baby, I'm playing it cool like a love-struck girl from my old high school. You taste so sweet. Trying hard to follow my rules, 'cause I don't wanna be one of those forlorn fools out on the street. Oh, but I could fall, I know you could too. Right over the line, you could be mine. Oh, we're doing the dance that two lovers do when they're out of time. On the borderline. Babe, I don't want you to see me this way. So vulnerable, I give my heart away, and it makes me weak. Used to be, I was a rock at Gibraltar. Now I stumble over my feet and I falter when I try to speak. Out on the edge of the great divide, the unspeakable chasm between us, and the places we run to but we cannot hide from the neon sign on the borderline. Time around here, if no one's gonna throw me a hard line, oh, it might be the right thing to just disappear by the morning time from the borderline. From the borderline.
Eliza Gilkyson is our guest, and in answer to your question, is she going to be by herself or does she have a band? She has a band. And so the band is, we've got Glen Fukunaga on the bass, and Mike Hardwick is our guitar player over in the corner with his red hair, and we've got drummer Cisco Ryder. Hello, also with the red hair. Goodness sakes, a half redheaded band. And
yeah.
Your album actually is kind of redheaded. The Paradise Hotel, you know, in the truth that red hair is really orange, sort of an orangish color.
Yeah, we played with it in Photoshop.
So tell me something, Eliza, about this cover. It's a beautiful, beautiful record. Is there such a place as the Paradise Hotel, and were these pictures taken there, if it is?
You know where those pictures were taken is in Maria, from Taco Maria. It's her house.
Huh.
Now on the market. But she had
Who is Taco Maria?
Taco Express?
Taco Express.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
right.
it's a place
over
here
on
in town.
Lamar. Yes, it's the best tacos certainly on the west side of South Austin. I don't want to get myself in trouble there.
Right, and so it's a It's a
she
South Austin house.
She has a great house, and she's fixed it up. It looks like sort of a Victorian hotel. And my photographer Mary Bruton was the one who told me about it, because we searched for a hotel that had, we looked around and we couldn't find it. We went to a lot of hotels in town, but nothing had this sort of old-fashioned feeling. And then her house was just wonderful.
That chandelier, for heaven's sake!
I know. It's great. The wallpaper, everything was.
It's gorgeous.
4-poster bed.
Just gorgeous.
Yeah, actually, I was getting ready for the photo shoot, and I was getting dressed when she shot the front, and that ended up the least posed shot was the one that got.
Right. Photographers are always after that.
I know.
Shoot from the hip. Don't let them know,
right.
because the minute you're taking my picture.
We worked for like 4 hours more, and it was the first 5 minutes that we got.
That's fun. Okay, so now we know about the cover of your album, and now it's time for me to mention that you are performing in Austin. Earlier this week, we had Perla Bataya, who was so good, but everybody called and wanted to know, where is she? She wasn't performing anywhere. She had already done it at the Folk Alliance thing, But Eliza, actually, she's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, Eliza is going to be playing at the Cactus Cafe Saturday night of this week. Not one, but 2 shows, and the times are starting when and when?
7:30 or 8 or 7:30 or and 10. I think
something like that.
Yeah.
Get there early. It'll be probably sold out. I don't know though. Don't let that discourage you from going. She's got 1 million fans, so get out there early and hear her at the Cactus Cafe. Let's have another song.
All right. Sailing across the seas, pursuing sorry ships, don't know they're sinking, holding on until all hope is gone. Focusing my eyes on distant stars, so far away they're blinking, on and off, on and off and on. But the bird in my hand is promising paradise. Venture forth from cave to conquer everything that's moving. Pleasure never really lasting very long. Roller coaster ride, the lows, the highs, feels like you're grooving, though it's on and off, on and off and on. And the bird in my hand is promising paradise. All the actors in your play will do their part and go their wayward dance, as long as you will pay, but she will never fly away. Man behind the curtain pulls the levers for the sheep. For me tonight there'll be no sleep until the dawn. Neon sign from Paradise Hotel across the street is blinking, on and off, on and off and on. And the bird in my hand is promising paradise. Oh,
We have live music for you here in KUT's Studio 1A today. Cliff, hello. Hello, Cliff.
Turn the bass down.
Okay, there we are. And we have Eliza Gilkyson with us today. And the CD that she has most recently released is called Paradise Hotel. That was the title song from it. And as is often the case, when you hear a song and really pay attention, you start hearing things you didn't hear in it before. As many times I played that on the air and heard it, I was like, let's really figure out what this song has to say. Well, I'm thinking bird in the hand as opposed to the bird in the bush.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, making good out of what you've got to deal with. Is that sort of part of it?
It seems like we chase these things so beyond our reach, and meanwhile we don't really realize what is right in front of us. It's just about pulling myself back into the moment and appreciating what's in front of me instead of these things I chase.
Why does it take so long to figure that out, I wonder?
Yeah, you figure it out and then you cack.
You cack?
Or I mean, you just figure it out kind of late in life, right before you die.
Oh, cack is another word for die?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that one before.
Well, maybe we're the same age, so I can't pull the age thing.
Cack. I never heard it.
Have you guys ever heard that expression? It
broke, I know.
Look, Glen hasn't.
No, Glen hasn't. Glen Fukunaga is our bass player, and Mike Hardwick is our guitar player, did the nice solo at the end there with his orange guitar. And Cisco Ryder is our drummer, very tasteful drummer as well. And the place that Eliza can be found on Saturday night is at the Cactus Cafe, 2 times, an early and a later show. Also, you're going to be playing at Susanna's Kitchen Thursday of
this week. Tomorrow, actually, in Wimberley, yeah.
Okay, so that should be fun, too.
Yeah, we do that once a year. It's fun. We could just go down there.
And Wimberley's such a great place. Lots of fans of yours down there, I'm sure. And before we leave that song, when I first played it, there's, I heard Bach.
Yeah, what you're the person I could ask. What is the Bach? People always ask me, and I've been told and I forget.
It's a whiter shade of pale is what you're literally quoting.
Right.
But that is, from whiter shade of pale, is a takeoff on 2 Bach pieces. One is Jesu, Joy of Man's Desiring. Da 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 da. Jesu, Joy of Man's Desiring.
So that's in there? I never even thought. I love that.
It's part of that, and it's part of the Wachet Auf, Sleepers Awake. So it's from those 2
Sleepers
things.
Sleepers Awake, Paradise.
Yep. Wake up, great. Here we are. Here we are. Bird in the hand. All right, let's have another song, Eliza.
That's great. Thank you so much for telling me that. Hope I remember that. Sleepers Awake, I'm going to remember that. Let's see, what do we do? Well, we'll do this song about my ancestor, Jedidiah Huntington, who fought in the American Revolution and was a general in Washington's army. And Cisco and I Googled him and were able to find on eBay, or not on eBay, but for auction, a book that had hundreds of his letters in there. And he was there at Valley Forge, and so I took his letters and pulled phrases out of them and made this song, sort of a bird's eye view of that time period. Jedidiah out in the snow, walking the frozen trench lines, wet boots and his wool coat coming apart at the seams. Rations of hard-baked dough, handfuls of melting snow. What else can a man live on but his dreams? Not 20 miles away, in the mansions of Philadelphia, loyalists laying their money down on the king. We've provision enough for the day, but if victory were just for the wealthy, our noble cause wouldn't be worth the hardship we're suffering. Send the cloth for a good waistcoat. I dream of your hearth in the fields of oat. I wake to the drum and the trembling note of the fifer. May it please God in His great mercy to shelter our friends and our family. I remain your son most faithfully, Jedidiah. I have seen a man who's seen a man who has heard the king tell of his intention or independence to declare. The peace will undoubtedly bring a great revolution in commerce. May it be our rightful fortune to come in for a share. My regards to a certain Miss Moore. I've stated my honorable intentions for her, that upon my return from this necessary war, she'll be my wife. May it please God in His great mercy to restore the joys of domesticity. Salutations to the family, Jedidiah. Rejoice that the cause we're engaged in is in the hands of an almighty sovereign, who I doubt not is accomplishing the ends of His desire. My love to you and the fair Miss Moore. Spare me a bottle from the cellar store. In my name let the contents pour, Jedidiah.
Eliza Gilkyson is our wonderful guest today, and that is a song of hers from the CD Paradise Hotel, Jedidiah 1777. And you're live in KUT Studio 1A today with us, and I'd like to say that support for live music on KUT comes from the Time Warner Cable, a partner in the Green Choice Renewable Energy Program. Information 24/7 at 485-6000. And Eliza Gilkyson is here with her band, and she'll be playing at the Cactus Cafe Saturday night. There are two shows, an early one and a late one. And she's also playing in Wimberley tomorrow night at Susanna's Kitchen. I'm sure everybody in Wimberley knows where Susanna's Kitchen is.
Yeah, I think they do.
I'm not sure. I know where the Cedar Creek Cafe is, but that's...
It's in the... I think it's a Presbyterian church on 12, Highway 12.
Somewhere out there.
Yeah.
And for you Austinites again, Cactus Cafe. And if you don't know where the Cactus Cafe is, you must be new to town. The Cactus Cafe is in the Texas Union building, the Student Union building on the UT campus. It's just to the west of the main building, the tower that you see around. Well, anyway, so Eliza, tell me something else about what you've been doing. I mean, since you've had the CD, my guess is you've been traveling all over the place, but yeah. I'm not sure. So tell me what's been up.
Well, we actually spent most of the summer in Canada. That was really fun. It was my first real foray into the Great White North. But we had a wonderful reception up there. They were very supportive of our political stance. As a matter of fact, it was very encouraging to go up there and get that kind of unanimous support from them. And so we spent most of the summer up there, and then we came back here. We've been hanging out at the Folk Alliance for this weekend, and that was really fun. Funner than I even thought it was going to be. It was neat to have everybody here in town, a lot of friends, and it was Lewis Myers did a great job pulling that thing off here in town. So I wish they had it here every year, because I think it would be a real happening.
So that's a traveling feast, huh?
A traveling feast?
I mean, the Folk Alliance is in different towns.
Yes,
different
exactly, exactly. But I think they're going to give it a home in Memphis. But hopefully they'll bring it back here again sometimes. I think it was very wildly successful here in this town is amazing for music conventions. I mean, you look at the success of the Austin City Limits Festival and the South by Southwest. It's not any accident that that those kind of successes are happening here and not in other towns. It's just that the town gets involved, the radio gets involved, and the press, and the artists like coming here. The clubs all, host them, and then the people just turn up, and so it's unique.
Well, I'm glad that you're a regular of ours, and I am not at all surprised you'd be adored in Canada, because it's almost surprising that you're not a Canadian artist.
Well, believe me, in the last few years, I definitely was looking at land up there.
Yeah, I can believe you. Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, Eliza, let's sing us another song.
Do we have time for one or two more?
Well, I think you did already 3. We can do 3 more if you want.
Oh, okay. All right. That's great. Then that gives me an idea of what we're going to do. Let's do something romantic. I pulled out a shaky town, going up country, sinking down, thinking about you. I'm a sucker for the thrill of the chase, a little damage and a little grace. I think about you, think about you. Out of the sad cafe, midnight waters, a half moon bay, made me think about you. I'm a sucker for the fountain of youth, till I bang my head on a mountain of truth. Think about you, think about you. Turn my collar into the wind, turn my lover into a friend, turn my loss into a win, and my heart over to the road again. I pulled into the night out in, front desk clerk with a backdoor grin, me think about you. I'm a sucker for a heart half closed, a part withheld and a part exposed. Think about you, think about you. I think about you.
I'm having a wonderful time today with Eliza Gilkyson in our KUT Studio 1A, and our engineer is Cliff Hargrove, and she's got her band with her. Cisco Ryder is her drummer, and Mike Hardwick is her guitarist, and Glen Fukunaga is her bass player. And these folks will be found at the Cactus Cafe on Saturday night, 2 shows, an early and a later one. The last song you heard, another of... It's hard for me to pick my favorite from your album because I like all the songs on it.
Thanks, John.
And I don't know if you... Oh, and that is from Paradise Hotel. And I don't know if you knew, but I picked your album as my #1 favorite album of the year last year.
I really am so grateful. Everything you've done for me, especially with this record, you've been so supportive. And I actually was going to send you a dozen red roses when you picked that, but
stop.
then I thought, well, is that payola?
No, it's like I tell a student when she leaves, she pays me. I said, but mainly you practice. That's what I want most. And like you put out, so I love to play you. It's
thanks.
It's not payola at all. It's just because it's so good. And blah de blah. Everybody knows I love her, and just listening, you'll know why. So, Eliza, let's see. Do you have any exciting stories from your trips to Canada, or from your life, or any plans you want to share with us?
Well, the most wonderful thing that happened for us in Canada was we got to go to the Edmonton Women's Prison and do a performance there for the prisoners, and we because I wrote this song, the Ballad of Yvonne Johnson, which is the story of a Cree woman who was the victim of incest and also serving a life sentence there for participating in a murder, and for which she did not deliver any fatal blows, but she ended up taking the fall for the others that were involved with that murder. But she's serving a life sentence. She's been in there since she was 27. She's 42. She's 43 now. But I had read her story, the Stolen Life, and it was such a moving story that I wrote the song around her, and then we finally got in touch. And the song was really a co-write with her because I use a lot of her whole beautiful phrasing, and she's an extremely eloquent woman and has had a real epiphany while she's been in prison and really turned her life around. And she's up for parole this year, so we're really hoping that Yvonne will get to walk free. And we're actually, if she does go free, we're going to bring her down to the University of Texas to speak to some better women's groups and women's movement. So we're really hoping that's going to happen, but right now Yvonne is sitting on pins and needles. We haven't heard the word yet.
Wow.
So we got to go there, meet her, spend the day in the Edmonton women's prison. I think that was really the highlight for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Also interesting you bring that up on a day when we have been playing anti-Valentine's Day music. When the Goodbye Earl was one, or the from the Dixie Chicks, and there was another one we played from the Chicago. He had it coming. Well, anyway, Eliza Gilkyson is here, and she can sing us any old thing she wants to next.
Yeah.
What's next?
All right. Well, I was thinking we could do Ballad of Yvonne Johnson, but is that too heavy?
No, sing it. And I'll pad with the weather forecast for today. You can expect a high around 80 degrees. And there is, however, a cold front coming this weekend. The temperature is supposed to drop down into the 50s for highs and 30s for lows, with 40-50% chance for rain Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So
rain is good.
Rain, especially here, for heaven's sake. It dry as a bone.
My friends up in New Mexico say that they haven't had any snow up there.
Really?
The whole winter, no.
Ooh, Taos is no-go for skiing.
Oh, no, I don't think. Yeah, the ski thing was out of the question, but
wow.
Then of course the water flow is going to be
right. Trickle.
Well, maybe usually when there's a rain here, it means there's snow there. So we can hope.
Cross your fingers.
My name is Yvonne Johnson, my native blood is Cree. I'm here to tell the story of the life stolen from me. My grandfather's grandfather was a great war chief, Big Bear. And Flora, my grandmother, worked with medicine and prayer. My mother's from Saskatchewan, my dad's U.S. Marine. And I was just a half-breed, falling somewhere in between. Raised up in a reckless world, drugs and alcohol. The police killed my brother Earl, the only one who cared at all. Cleft palate split my face in two, my words came soft and I lived in shame and ridicule, foundations of despair. you let the kids all watch when I was only 3. He threw me on the table, forced himself inside of me. My brother Leon learned from him what I learned not to tell. 'Cause when my daddy found out, and he had his way as well, boys, he took me down as well. I didn't have a language for the pain I suffered through, escaping in a marriage, but your past just catches up with you. Until I had 3 children and a ragged family, a desperate urge to keep them from the wolves that got to me, boys, wolves that got to me. Forget that night, the way the cards all fell. The deck was stacked against me, and I played my part so well. 3 days on the party in a drunken revelry. Shirley Ann said Chuck had plans to lure my kids from me, lure my kids from me. I wrapped cord around him there, they beat him round the head. They threw him down the cellar stairs and pulled the cord till he was dead. Cord set me up to take the fall. I went down silently, and I'm doing life in prison now for murder first degree. Oh, they got leniency. Grandmother, send your prayers to me. Protect me and my children, for I love them endlessly. Creator, I have come alive. Medicine bear woman doing life at 35, boys, life at 35. To make my amends to those that I have harmed. Grant them love and peace so they may understand I'm sorry. Help me share my shame and pain so others they might do the same. And so awaken to themselves and to all peoples of this world. Oh, hi, hi.
That was one from Eliza Gilkyson's earlier album.
That's from The Land of Milk and Honey.
Yeah. because it's not on this one. I'm pretty sure it is from the land of milk and honey. Yeah. And Eliza sang that one in Canada at a women's prison, Edmonton, did you say? Where is it?
Edmonton Women's Prison.
They don't have the death penalty in Canada,
No, they don't. And everyone who has a life sentence is given a 15-year review, regardless of the crime. Where that's I think an incredible thing that they have. And the prison system is quite different. I've played in prisons in this country, so I know the difference. They had an incredible woman, what do you call it when they're the head of a prison?
The warden?
Warden, yes. A very, very enlightened person who is really experimenting with new ways of reform. And there was a lot of... I mean, the fact that we got in there that easily was a real measure of her efforts. And there's a lot of kind of self-help stuff that goes on in there, and a lot of camaraderie between the women too, at least from what we saw.
Well, let's hope some of that wears off on us.
Yeah,
it would
terrible
be good. Situations.
Bad.
Eliza Gilkyson, we have time for one more. What would it like to be?
Well, let's do "Calm Before the Storm." Easy does it, darling. Let the good times roll. Many a mile to go before you close your eyes. Rest your weary soul. Calm before the storm. And I can't dance this one without you. So stay inside here where it's warm, and gather all your friends about you here tonight in the calm before the storm. Sail you, and you're lost out on uncharted seas. The compass of your heart won't fail you now. Your vessel's made for times like these. Let your hair down till the morn, 'cause many loved ones are together here tonight in the calm before the storm. In the calm before the storm.
Eliza Gilkyson is our guest today, live in KUT Studio 1A. I am very, very fond of her, and I hope you understand why. Having listened to some of her songs, she's just a very insightful and creative artist, and has surrounded herself with some very fine musicians today.
That's for sure.
Cisco Ryder is our drummer, Mike Hardwick is our guitar player, and Glen Fukunaga is our bass player. And on the gig this Saturday, you will have these same people with you?
Yes, I will. Cisco's actually on the road with his band Cat Sign, so it's going to be a trio, and we're going to have some wonderful guests. But Mike and Glen will be with me, and then we'll have Robert McEntee's opening, and Lynn Miles, a wonderful singer from Canada, is going to come in and do a couple of songs during the set. It's going to be a wonderful night.
At the Cactus Cafe this Saturday night, and Eliza will be in Wimberley on Thursday night, tomorrow night, at Susanna's Kitchen. And her CD, from which that one song you just heard comes, and I'm sure it was a comfort to many people listening to it this afternoon. It's her CD called Paradise Hotel. I can't recommend it highly enough, so go buy it if you don't already have it. And the one before that, The Land of Milk and Honey, is also fabulous, and I can't tell you how many times people have requested that Highway 9 song. It's like, maybe that and James McMurtry's, We Can't Make It Here, the two most requested songs at this place.
That's a great song.
Anyway, thank you so much. Hugs and hugs.
Thanks,
and Cliff Hargrove's our engineer. And next we'll hear one from the Mundi Ensemble.